India and Sri Lanka have signed a far-reaching defence cooperation deal following talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Anura Dissanayake. Now, both sides signed 7 MOUs that included developing Trincomalee as an energy hub and facilitating New Delhi's assistance to Sri Lanka's eastern region. Now, Prime Minister Modi and President Dissanayake also virtually inaugurated the Sampur Solar Power Project. The Sri Lankan President honoured the Indian Prime Minister with Sri Lanka's highest civilian award, the Mitra Vibhushan Medal, and the Indian Prime Minister dedicated the honour to all Indians and thanked the Sri Lankan President. He also said that India will be exporting electricity to Sri Lanka as well.
आज राष्ट्रपति दिशानायक द्वारा श्रीलंका मित्र विभूषण से सम्मानित किया जाना मेरे लिए गौरव की बात है। यह सम्मान केवल मेरा सम्मान नहीं, बल्कि यह 140 करोड़ भारतीयों का सम्मान है।
Dissanayake thanked the Indian Prime Minister for India's economic support to the island nation. He also assured that Lankan soil will not be allowed for any activity that will cause regional instability.
And we also discussed in detail about furthering our collaboration in the already excellent defense cooperation between the two countries. I reaffirmed Sri Lanka's stance that it will not permit its territory to be used in any manner inimical to the security of India as well as towards regional stability.
Now, apart from the trade deals, Prime Minister Modi also emphasized the deep historical and spiritual ties between India and Sri Lanka and agreed to assist in the renovation of the Thirukoneswaram temple in Trincomalee.
भारत और श्रीलंका के बीच सदियों पुराने आध्यात्मिक और आत्मीयता भरे संबंध है। मुझे यह बताते हुए अत्यंत खुशी है कि 1960 में मेरे होम स्टेट गुजरात के अरावली में मिले भगवान बुद्ध के रेलिस को श्रीलंका में दर्शन के लिए भेजा जा रहा है। त्रिकोमाली के थिरुकोनेश्वरम मंदिर के रिनोवेशन में भारत सहयोग देगा।
On Sunday, Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the historic Jaya Shri Mahabodhi temple and will flag off a special train at Anuradhapura railway station. Thereafter, the Indian Prime Minister will leave for Mandapam in India's Tamil Nadu. Now, as part of his Tamil Nadu itinerary, the Indian Prime Minister will be inaugurating the newly constructed Pamban Bridge in Rameshwaram on Sunday on the auspicious occasion of Ram Navami. Built by the Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, the new bridge is the first vertical lift bridge in Asia. The new Pamban Bridge is 2.078 kilometers long. The construction replaces an aging bridge that was closed in 2022. The bridge can be raised up to 22 meters in 5 minutes while allowing trains to travel at speeds of 75 kilometers per hour. Now, built for 535 crore rupees, the new bridge is expected to significantly improve rail connectivity between the Indian mainland and Rameshwaram Island. Now, the Indian Prime Minister is in fact the first global leader to be hosted by the Sri Lankan President after he took office in last December. President Dissanayake visited New Delhi last December, marking his very first state visit to India. All right, now to give us more details on this very important visit, we joined on this broadcast by our correspondent Dissanayake Thauda, who is joining us live from Colombo. Dissanayake, you've been tracking the details of what's been unfolding as part of the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Sri Lanka. You know, there is a defence deal that has also been signed between India and Sri Lanka. Tell us more about this.
Absolutely. The vehicle convoy carrying Prime Minister Narendra Modi just left the premises right behind me after he laid a floral wreath at the IPKF memorial in the close proximity to where I am. Like you rightfully pointed out, this defense MOU was something that the entire country and the region alike was eagerly waiting to see what entails of this MOU. It is understood that a lot of maritime exercises, sharing of intelligence between the two nations, as well as regional security, will take paramount importance throughout this MOU to further strengthen not only bilateral ties, but also regional ties here in the Indian Ocean.
And also considering the manner in which this visit, this is the first global leader who's visiting Sri Lanka ever since the new president has taken charge. Is this a realignment that Sri Lanka is currently going through, where it seems to be lying much closer to India than the past, where some of the other leaders in the past in Sri Lanka had been happy to ally themselves with China?
It certainly appears to be so, given that this is the first top-level dignitary to visit Sri Lanka, during the tenure of President Anura Dissanayake, who just took office last year. Now, keep in mind, he is a new president. This is his first time being president of Sri Lanka, especially given the fact that his party, the National People's Power Movement, have never won an election. And the very first election they won was, in fact, a presidential election, which clearly shows that the people have given him a mandate to govern this country, for which he has reiterated on multiple occasions, including today during the joint presser, that Sri Lankan soil will not be used for any activity that will cause disunity or disharmony, within the region. So it clearly appears to be that President Dissanayake is going to bolster and strengthen India-Sri Lanka ties, which is something that was not seen over the past few decades under certain regimes here in Sri Lanka.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Dissanayake, for joining us with all those details there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.